Mind Walk. Thanks for joining us on the Mind Walk podcast. I'm Mike.
I'm Sean, and this is Barney the Wonder Dog. Barney the Wonder Dog.
We're going to go for a walk and talk about some things, and we'd love for you to join us.
So subscribe to the Mind Walk podcast on iTunes, Spotify, or YouTube, or where you find all of your pod stuff. Follow us on social media at Mind Walk Pod.
Now, everyone is going to get one free Mind Walk a week, but because you want more Mind Walk, support us on Patreon. For $1.99 a month, you get absolutely nothing, but you get the satisfaction of supporting us. For $5, you can become a trail angel and get 3 Mind Walks on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And for $10 a month, you can get 5 Mind Walks a week. That's 7.5 hours of content Monday through Friday. Now, let's get into the
Mind Walk! That's fine. I was like, oh, my shit's falling out. Yeah. Hello.
Hi there.
Good to see you.
Nice
Congratulations
to see you.
on all your stuff happening.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
The video, it was so cool. The release was a lot of fun. And working with Lady Beaver on the visuals.
Oh, yeah.
Was amazing.
Yeah, I watched the video. I'm Michael, by the way.
Oh, hi, Michael.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, I watched the video just like an hour ago. Sean sent it to me.
Oh, good. You did your research then.
Yeah,
Yes.
I
Good.
did minutes of research.
Nice.
No, but we've been talking about you, and Sean's been saying like, "Oh, we gotta have her on." And I was like, "Oh, sounds great to me."
Oh, that's so cool. I'm so honored to be a guest.
No, it's super fun. I've been looking forward to it. You know, since you committed, I was like, yay!
Yay!
Yeah. And I watched the video. And it was super fun. I was like, okay, this is
All right.
it's got a sense of humor. You know,
You're-
it's a good time.
Oh, that's cool that you got the humor. Okay.
Oh yeah,
I'm super happy.
There are a few levels of humor on it too.
Oh.
That I thought, you know, there
Maybe-
was just the celebration of the beat up car, you know,
Yes.
that's a level.
Yes.
But then also just like the style of dress, and also the like driving around in the kid's car, there was sort of like almost like a childlike aspect to like the whole thing.
Oh wow,
You
you
know?
really looked at it in detail. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so honored.
Yes.
Masks on.
Oh, you're welcome.
But I did have one question for you.
Yeah, go
So,
for it.
you know, I grew up in a kind of a square situation. So I don't...
What does a square situation mean?
I didn't get into much trouble. I
Oh.
stayed on the right side of the law, you know,
You
got
were-
good grades.
You were one of the nice kids.
Yeah.
Got you.
You know, now I'm a comedian, so it's like, you know, that kind of
So you've gone
throws
over
a
to
little
the
bit
dark
of that out
side.
the window. But I was wondering, what is it like to drive a car like it is stolen? What kind of driving is that exactly?
If you could describe to me in technical detail what, or perhaps in attitude, what...
What's the meaning of the song, basically? So basically, drive it like you stole it. What I wanted to say was, it doesn't matter what type of car you have. Drive it like it's a Lamborghini. Like,
okay.
Is Barney coming?
Yeah, he's coming.
Barney.
Come on, buddy.
Oh, Barney's making friends.
Yeah. This is his part that he loves to drag his butt on the hike. Because he's like, we're doing this hike again.
Oh, Barney.
Yeah. So when I was first recovering from my surgery,
Yeah.
we would come here all the time. And at a certain point, we were coming here so often, he would just like right around here be like, ugh.
When dogs are normally so happy to be outdoors.
Yeah. How's it going?
So to answer your question, Michael. So I think what I was trying to say in the song was, it doesn't matter if your car is a Prius or
Right.
A toy car. Drive it like it's a Lamborghini. Like, drive it like it's a Lamborghini that you've just stolen from Rodeo Drive.
Oh, okay.
Was kind of the meaning. But then people who listen to the song are just kind of like, that's not really what we get from the song at all. So
Oh, I guess, so the assumption being that the car you stole is a nice car.
yes,
As opposed to
because
having
you wouldn't.
stole a beat-up car.
Yeah, you
I
wouldn't-
assume they'd be easier targets.
Oh, that's a good point. Maybe, yeah, their security system is not that good.
Yes. I mean, I don't know if you saw my truck out there. Nobody looks twice at my truck.
Nobody's tried to steal your truck, Sean?
Well, so one of the weird things that does happen, because it looks like it's an abandoned truck, occasionally I will find like people have gone into it and like smoked a cigarette or
Oh my
something like that.
God.
Yeah, I found cigarettes in the side
Wait,
pocket.
why would somebody go into...
I don't know.
An abandoned truck and just smoke a random...
I think they're just whatever. Somebody's drunk.
And they just needed a place to rest?
They sit down for a minute.
Wait, but how did they open your truck?
I don't lock the doors.
Oh, why don't you lock the doors?
Partially, like, I don't want somebody to just decide that they want to break into it, and then I have to deal with a broken window.
Oh, gotcha.
And then, like, what's there to steal out of it?
Gotcha.
You know, like, it's like the $300 I'd spend on fixing the window is worth more than anything that's inside the truck.
Well, what about the radio?
It's one of those, what they call an integrated radio, that's very hard to steal. And I don't think people steal radios anymore.
Gotcha.
I don't think it's a thing that, you know.
Yeah, it's not very worthy anymore. Do you have a car, Michael?
I do have a car. It's the same car I've driven for the last 20 years.
How would one go about stealing that?
Well, I do lock my car, so I guess that's one barrier.
Yep.
But I don't know. I guess how would one go about stealing
I think
it?
that the way that people typically would steal...
Would they hotwire it, or...?
Yeah, is that they would wait at a valet and you know, pretend, you know, you just got to slip in there for the right car, grab it, go. You know, that there was a big ring that was doing that for a little while.
Oh, valet thief?
Yeah, valet.
Thieves.
Fake valet. Also, there was a little while where people would set up like fake valet. Like, there wasn't just a guy walking up and stealing the car. They'd actually set up a little kiosk and collect a bunch of keys and steal the cars.
But then now, don't all cars have like a tracking system on them?
So it's not really worth it to steal a car anymore.
I think my car is old enough that it doesn't have such a thing.
Oh, what bird is that?
It was beautiful, wasn't it?
Look, here it is.
Yeah, look at that guy.
What is that?
I don't know.
Is that a woodpecker?
It is. Oh, it's a titmouse.
Oh, titmouse, like
The fucking animation
Adult Swim?
company. And I only know that it's a titmouse from looking at there because it's got that little peaked.
Yeah.
Yeah, that little peaked thing on its head.
well, I got a pic of it.
Well, fuck yeah, let's fucking tag Adult Swim in it.
It could have been a slightly better picture, but given the light and the
Circumstances.
quickness and the...
Yeah, you did good, Michael. You were fast on that one.
So two things.
Thank
The
you.
first thing is I need to rent or borrow a car for a short movie.
Okay.
Whose car is that?
What, the beater car?
Yeah.
It's actually my neighbor's.
Okay. Do you
Yeah,
think they'd
Sean,
be...
so you would have known that if you watched the next video in the Instagram, which was all about
how she got the
how
car.
the production went.
Sean, real fans of mine know all this information. You have exposed yourself, Sean.
So
Do not think I will be answering any more of your questions.
Well, the other one is more of an interpretation. See, I think the drive it like you stole it idea is not just about cars, but it's really like live life as if you're fucking getting away with murder, as if you're like, as if you have nothing to lose. You know,
Sean,
That's
are
the-
you conflating property theft with physical violence? That's very
Well,
unlike you, Sean.
No, what I'm equating is if you've already done the crime, fucking just live large.
That's true.
Yeah.
I think that'd be good. Like drive it like you stole it. Like don't live life thinking too much about
Consequences.
too much on the safe side.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like go out, have your adventures.
Yeah.
Like live and make stories and do things that you could write home about.
Yeah.
That's a really good interpretation.
Yeah, that's
I love that.
that's what I kind of got. I also like the other humor part I felt was like the kind of the way you guys were going at the dancing was there was a little bit of like almost like silliness because even though you were doing the dancing seriously, you know it had a kind of like a
the moves that go like this.
yeah, there had some silly moves to it, and it also felt like you were almost making fun of like those like the booty girls on the video. You know what I mean? Like it felt a little bit like ironic.
I like that.
Because you know your crew's a little nerdy.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so it didn't feel like really super hoochie.
I think maybe it's also my attitude in the whole video is just one of kind of sarcasm and kind of poking fun. And I always think it's interesting to, with Lady Beaver, we want to do like a series of videos that kind of poke fun at like the status quo.
Yeah, and the tropes that all these videos are playing with.
Because it is a lot about objectivization of bodies. It's objectivization of a person as a cash cow with their expensive cars and trying to just say, hey, there's another way of going about life than constantly having to try to prove yourself in these really superficial ways.
Yeah, I see that.
So but it's still like it's still fledgling, still getting my feet a little.
Well,
like my feet wet.
I think Lady Beaver. I was going to call her by her Clark Kent name.
She will remain Lady Beaver.
Yes, exactly. But so she, even in her art, all the stuff that she does has a certain whimsy to it.
Yes.
Which it's. Like at first I was like, because I'm such a crunchy narcissist. Or not narcissist.
Really?
No,
what
not
does
narcissist.
That mean to be a crunchy?
No, narcissist is not the word.
Narcissist?
Narcissist wasn't the word. I went nihilist.
What does that mean?
Nihilist,
You're a crunchy nihilist?
Well, I was like, I like things like crunchy and rough and just kind of like broken and rusty.
Gotcha.
That's kind of and then nihilist, like there's like, kind of the idea that there's like no meaning to life.
Oh, I didn't pen you as a nihilist.
I know, right? I had it very well.
And I think that there might be even less meaning than Sean thinks, which is...
So you're like a super nihilist.
Yeah.
Is that, I was going to say, is that because you're a comedian? No, I'm just joking.
No, I think it's the other way around. I think I'm a comedian because I'm a nihilist.
Got you.
I don't know. I think I come at it from... meaning to me seems like, I don't know, like the concepts of good and evil. They seem very subjective and dependent on the person. Mm-hmm. So it just seems to me like meaning is something we kind of made up. I don't really see it anywhere or am able to get my hands on it. Mm. So I'm kind of like, well, I can make up my own meaning. We all can make up our own meaning.
Well, what do you mean by meaning?
Hello. How you doing?
Good. Oh.
Good.
Barney's going to make another friend.
Oh, yeah. They're the right size to be friends.
Have a good hike. You too.
What would I mean by meaning? Well, that's a tough question, right?
Again,
everyone has a different meaning for meaning.
Deep in the woods. We're deep in the
on
woods.
this podcast, we only answer the tough questions.
No, but it's a great question. I'd love to dive into that one. Honestly, we don't shy away from this stuff at all.
Let's do it.
So, what is the meaning of meaning? Gosh, I was going to say value, but that's not quite right.
I would say that what one finds significant.
Okay.
Yeah, finding significance, personal and in the world. Like I think
I might say it can also be what some people interpret as a reason.
Yeah.
Or sort of a
justification.
I was going to say a thrust to the a sort of directionality to the universe or life.
Okay.
That it is serving some kind of purpose, or that you are a servant to that purpose.
So in your
it's not just, and that life isn't just a chaotic happenstance that just happens to be here. That there's some greater cause or purpose to the thing. That it isn't just kind of a that there's no reason for it.
There's a stream here.
Oh yeah,
that's really
pretty. Oh yeah, the little crick.
We can admire the stream.
I love that.
Oh, sorry.
There's no rush.
I love that you're pointing out these things. I'm just like, I'm on a hike, and I'm like, I don't need to fucking be.
Maybe because I never hike. I love that. I love looking at the surface of the water. It's one of my favorite things to do. So
we're gonna try to hit up a river tomorrow.
Wow.
Yeah, in San Bernardino.
Oh, San Bernardino. That's where we did part of the shoot.
Oh, shit.
As Michael knows, because he's done. So the meaning, so you're saying that basically, in your definition of nihilism, it's all happenstance. There's no good life, no bad life. It's just whatever. We're not here for any purpose other than just to live out our existence until it ends.
We do live out our existence until it ends.
Yeah. But we're not here for any other purpose than to do that.
Right.
Gotcha.
We can, if there is a purpose, we can decide for ourselves what that purpose is. But it's because we created it, not because there's some larger force in the universe that has dictated it to us. It's not a definition that's established outside of us, but rather something that we interpret about ourselves and our place in the world.
But what about, like, murder? Is that bad from a nihilistic point of view, or no?
From a nihilistic point of view, not objectively, meaning... I mean, I would have to say no. Like, I would say murder is bad.
Gotcha.
Like, I don't want murder in my
Well, I
society.
mean, mostly from my own coming back to narcissism. I don't want to be killed, so I don't want to kill anybody else.
Gotcha.
You know, like that's what I do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
Gotcha.
I feel the golden rule's a pretty good measure, margin. You know, like there's a margin to work in with.
But you could also take the position of, I don't want to be murdered, but I would sure love to murder other people, so I'm going to go do that.
It's pretty selfish, but you know.
Well, sure. I just mean,
I mean, also,
you
I will
could
say,
come to that conclusion too, right?
I will say though, also not wanting to be murdered is pretty selfish, if you ask me.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, come on, what makes me so special not to be murdered? Just
Got
kidding.
you.
I'm joking.
So every human life is expendable.
Joe,
so
I'm totally
Guys, I
joking.
kind of want to end this hike right now. I'm sensing a slight foreshadowing.
This is so funny. This has been the theme with the last woman that we had on the
Really?
hike
Yeah,
here.
it became murder very quickly.
Two men.
But she just straight up accused us of
What did she?
perhaps plotting to murder her.
Oh, okay.
Whereas you brought it up in a more philosophical context.
But I still ended in the same place.
Well, we'll see if you end up in the same place as her.
That's why you
Hello.
guys are in such a hurry. Hi there. Good, and you?
No, but I wanted to get back to Lady Beaver.
Yes.
Oh, hold on,
Lady
hold on.
Beaver.
Before
Oh,
Lady
yeah.
Beaver, I just
Okay.
wanted... I was asked if murder was bad. I just wanted to, expand on that a little bit
Yes.
before we expand on the beaver. So yeah, I mean, if you're talking to me in casual conversation, we're talking about society, like, of course murder's bad.
Got
Right?
you.
That's my position. And I could explain reasons why I think it's bad. But
what are
I
the
don't
reasons
think there's
why
any
murder's bad?
God or moral force in the universe that is actually like judging. That's like, this is in this action, this series of events is in the category of bad, and this other series of events is in the category of good.
Got you.
I don't see that.
You think so? There's no like checks and balances. God is not watching over us, saying, or there's no Father Christmas saying, "Hey, you did a bad thing. You're not getting any presents for Christmas this year."
Right. I mean, society may say you did a bad thing and we're going to punish you for
Got
it.
you.
And I'm totally for that when it comes to murder. But no, I don't think there's a Father Christmas that is making that determination. And sort of in the same way that I was arguing that we make the meaning for ourselves, I think we make the good and bad for ourselves. There are clearly people in the world who don't think killing people is bad, or they think killing some people is bad, but other people it's good to kill,
Yep. Oh wow, this hike is so intense. I'm not in a good shape, guys.
Well, we can slow down a bit if you like.
Yeah, we can.
Oh God.
I just power.
We like to break you down.
Yeah.
You seem like you're in pretty decent shape with all that
I know
dancing.
from the video it looked like
Yeah.
I would be, but actually the truth comes out now. It's very smart. You guys are really exposing.
Well, this is part of the amazing thing that we've discovered hiking, is that you get to an emotional core. You're just like,
What do you have to hide?
yeah.
What do I have to hide?
Well, sure. It was more rhetorical, but
Oh, got you.
sure. I mean, it's a fine question. What do you have to
I
hide?
would not answer right now.
Right, exactly. Well, I
have
suppose you
nothing
could
to
answer
hide.
you could answer about a general subject without giving away the specifics.
Got you.
You don't have to.
I'm definitely on a mental health journey.
Hey, that's
So
beautiful.
Yeah, so I'm in a 12-step program. So that's really good. It's helping me a lot.
Good,
That's
good.
I'm
fantastic.
on step 5.
Woohoo.
So I'm telling my sponsor about all of the
Oh, yeah.
negative stuff that's happened to me or that I've caused. So
How's it going?
that would be.
Hello.
Hi there. Hi. So I think that would be the main thing that I would say. It's like maybe not something I want to tell the whole world about in detail. But I think 12-step programs are very beneficial for people, so it's kind of cool to bring an awareness to destigmatize it.
Well, this is as a sober person myself, and was involved in a lot of 12-step programs, and I'd go back at some point myself. I'm not opposed. I just had to. I mean, the shelter in place is helping with the not going to meetings.
The what?
With the shelter in place is helping with not going to meetings.
Oh, that's no excuse, Sean. The meetings are all on Zoom now.
But primarily, I kind of like stopped going as regularly because I found that there was, for me personally, a kind of a negative feedback loop that was happening.
In what way?
So I'll just say, while I appreciate the idea of anonymity in AA, I disagree. I personally think I've helped more people by being transparent about my going to meetings and the help it's been, and being very honest about
that's not the edicts.
Well, it's about not saying who you see in a meeting, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you don't need to say who you see. You could just say you don't need to be specific, but you could talk about your experience.
Yeah. But it's also there's this other element where, and this is like almost part of the unspoken rules, where it's like, oh, don't mention the specific meeting type of thing that you do. And that's a little part of it where I'm just
what?
There's a lot of when you hear people, kind of in the media talk about it, they're like, oh, I go to a 12-step program, right?
Oh, you can't tell you. I always tell people the specific 12-step program I go to.
Yeah, but it's again like it's dependent on, kind of the group and all that.
Got you. So you feel that there's this kind of overtone of it's not cool to speak about this.
Yes.
Got you. And that's hampering.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that, tiny little bit of that, but also the other feedback loop is...
Oh, look at the sun, guys.
Isn't that beautiful?
Is the sun like this because of the wildfires?
Yes.
Got you.
We're seeing smoke-filtered sun.
It is beautiful, but it's not good, I'm guessing.
Yesterday it was bright red at sunrise.
Yeah, it was yesterday was crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not feeling the smoke. I'm not feeling extra winded or whatever.
Talk for yourself, Sean.
No, I mean, I'm saying we hike every day, so it's I'm not noticing any difference.
Yeah. Says the girl who's like, I'm like, oh, that's the problem. It's not that I'm out of shape, guys. There's another reason.
Ooh. The smoke doesn't help, that's for sure. Oh. So, but I want to give the beaver her due.
Oh, yes. Let's talk about Lady Beaver.
Oh, yeah. So she's got this style that I was kind of a little bit, I had some misgivings about.
Yep.
But then I was like, you know what? She's doing something that is very colorful and joyous, and to me, I think there's a lot of humor and whimsy, just both in her comic books and the illustrations and the paintings she does. Mm-hmm. She has a very, very, very specific thing that she's doing, and like I said, at first I was not a fan, but then I realized, oh, this all plays into her overall kind of she's got just a goofy approach to life almost.
Mm-hmm. The sun is here, I'd like to get a selfie.
Oh.
Because it's just going to get darker, the lighting's going to get worse.
The three of us?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were going to say I'd like to get a selfie of me and Barney.
The four of us.
Oh, sorry, Barney.
He's all right.
Oh, Barney.
Look at him. Isn't he the best?
Oh, he's the best. He's I really don't like walking as much as you guys are making me walk.
You want to get the sun?
Oh, no, I want the light from the sun.
Oh, gotcha.
Which is why we should do it now. Yep. All right, so get it nice and...
There we go. Hey, guys. We're getting pictures taken.
Yay, we got it.
Yay,
awesome.
Oh,
that was good to get that now. You're right.
Get it out of the way.
So, Michael was talking about Lady Beaver.
Yeah, yes.
So, you were saying she has a goofy approach to life.
Yeah, and again, she brings a lot of joy. She has a lot of fun. I see how that fits really well with your music and what you're trying to put out there.
She, like, I'll tell you, like, I mean, I find her art amazing. But she has so many other qualities. She is literally the most amazing thing on set. Like, she brings energy and joy to everybody. Like, everybody's having fun. She always, I'm very, I'm a little bit I'm socially anxious. So I have trouble with, like, just with groups of people in general.
Okay.
And she really helps me. She kind of knows what I want, and she really can direct everybody and tell them, hey, this is the vision. This is what we need.
Oh, good.
Whereas I'm very bad. I feel really bad giving people directions. And she comes up with she has a lot of ideas, and she's a great storyteller, I think partially because of her time in improv comedy.
Oh, yeah.
So I just feel so lucky that because of the circumstances of COVID, we kind of had to leave our housing situations and find a house together. So I feel that I really lucked out in that sense, because the artist path can be, if you're like me, if you're just getting your feet wet and you're just starting and your video has 100 views, it's hard, building up the courage and the stamina to kind of just keep going. But then when you have somebody around you who makes it a fun experience where it doesn't matter what the result is, that just makes you realize, like, oh, it's just all in the process. Like, I'm probably going to be doing this my whole life.
Yeah, it's like strap in and get used to just being in the mode of producing and trying to put out something new, and you never know what's going to stick and what's not going to stick, so you just...
Exactly.
I mean, you might as well try and make the art that you want to make, right?
Exactly, and I think that, well, for me, I feel like the journey is... Ooh, look at this tree. Isn't that cool, the way the bark is stripped from it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
How's it going? Oh, come on, Barney.
Is that a eucalyptus?
Yeah, there's a bunch down there. There's a big forest.
Come on, buddy.
Look at this.
A little grumpy. Come on,
This bark
Grumper.
is so interesting.
Come on, dude, let's go. Come on. Zoe, let's go. Come on. Let's go. No problem.
Let's go, bud. Good boy. Go run.
I feel like, in a sense, as artists, society really fucks with us because it concentrates a lot on the result and on the American myth that is, if you work hard, you'll become very rich and successful and famous.
And you won't ever have to do anything anymore.
Yeah, and then
never again.
And then you'll be happy because you're rich and successful and famous, when that's disproven over and over again.
Well,
so I feel like
we have a refrain on this podcast: the capitalist dystopian nightmare, which that is part of it. The receding goal line, or the lie of hard work.
You'll be happy if you get over the goalpost and put all your years of hard work. And I mean, there's like a TikTok video that said it so well. She was like, "Hello, I am capitalism. I promise that if you work really hard, you will have worked really hard." Basically, that's kind of the promise there is.
And then once you've got all that money, then you
retire.
Are allowed to rest and have a vacation, but you must consume that as a product also.
Oh, and what do you mean?
No,
well,
you have to spend a lot of money to go to fucking Cabo.
Pay for the service and pay for the pampering. And it's like, are you really relaxing unless you're paying money to be in a commodified environment that's geared towards your pleasure?
Yeah.
As opposed to this hike where we're just relaxing because, I mean, you can exercise, you could call it relaxing or not, but we're just...
You guys are relaxing. I'm almost having a stroke. It's a very different experience, but I see your point.
We'll go slower.
But it can also just be just laying out on some sand, or like just not doing anything, but also not worrying about the fact that you're not doing anything.
Exactly. Wasn't there this story that like a man comes to like two men in a lake fishing, And he's like, no, you guys have to stop fishing. You've got to go. You've got to make this fishing thing into like a company automated thing. And they're like, why? Well, he's like, so you can earn a lot of money. And they're like, well, why? So then you can earn the money and then you can be happy. And they're like, well, doing what? And he's like, well, you could be fishing. And they're like, well, we're already doing that. Why do we have to take the long way to our goal of happiness?
Because we need to get the middleman and the capitalists and the factory. You know,
Yeah.
it's like all those people got to be included.
Yeah.
Well, aren't you going to be more satisfied if you've worked to get it? Well, it's like only if I let the guilt of me not working be a thing that I take seriously.
Yeah.
And I had a professor, an Iranian professor, who his version of that story was there's like a guy in a marketplace who's just kind of like laying out there in the sun. Clearly doesn't have anything other than the cloth on his body, and is just catching some sun. And another guy comes up to him and says, like, "What are you doing out here?" It's like, "Well, I'm just enjoying the day." It's like, "Oh, well, don't you think you should be productive?" Well, why should I do that? Well, because then you can earn a living. Well, why should I do that? Well, because then you can you can get a house and you can get possessions. Okay, and why should I do that? Well, eventually you can get married and and then you can have kids. And it's like, okay, and then what? And then you can you can retire. Okay, and then what? Well, then you can just do whatever you like. It's like, well, that's what I'm doing right now.
Exactly.
My favorite eco-fascist philosopher, Pentti Linkola. He's a Finnish. He's just very kind of anti-industrialization and pro kind of remediation. His full-time job is he is a fisherman, and then he writes books on the side about philosophy of how to, his idea is that each city should be self-sufficient. We shouldn't have all this global trade, and and that people should kind of live by.
But is that realistic though? Like if we need gold,
probably not.
Not every city has gold.
Well, probably not. But he's at least trying to say we have to reverse a lot of the bad tendencies and trends that we have.
Yeah.
And he lives his philosophy by being a fisherman. You know what I mean? Like he's pulls enough fish out of the ocean to feed himself and his family, and then pay his rent or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, that's it right there.
Yeah.
But also as artists, how do you create, an endeavor, a thing, a product in the world that is self-supporting? That there's a constant amount of work that goes into remuneration.
Part of that is determined by the fact that we are in the capitalist dystopian nightmare.
Yes.
And there are parameters through which one can, get the shelter and the food and the health care and the stuff
I think with art though, we've kind of I feel like our society is puts a lot of pressure on artists that they're only artists if they're actually making money.
I've heard that as a definition. People have told me you're not an artist until you're making a living at it. Until then, you're not an artist. You're a hobbyist. I'm
Well,
like,
that's
no, I
ridiculous.
disagree with that.
Yeah.
I think you're an artist if you declare yourself to be, and you're creating it.
And you're creating, and you could say, okay, then Van Gogh wasn't an artist because he didn't make any money off of his work until after he died.
Right.
No, Van Gogh is one of the biggest artists in the history of mankind.
No, he became an artist when his brother was able to sell his first painting after
Oh,
death.
got you.
I'm just kidding, but I'm being facetious. But
But he made it big time after he had passed away.
Yeah, but also this is that's the ultimate capitalist dream, is somebody dropping dead at the prime of their artistic career,
and then
just mining all the fun. Tupac. I mean, how many fucking times is Tupac gonna fucking try to be in a big festival, after he's dead?
If you look at
or Elvis, or
the value of a stock, right? It's going to be in part determined by people's perception of its future value. You could say the same thing about the holdings of a music conglomerate, right? They own Michael Jackson's music, and they're like, well, the value of this Michael Jackson music is not just its value today, but eventually he's going to die, and hopefully it will be in a spectacular fashion. And when that happens, then this stuff is really going to be worth a lot of
that's so
money,
dark.
right?
Yeah.
So, of course, they're like the death of an artist. It's like, they're in the news. Okay, traction.
Yeah.
Okay, they're trending. Great. All right. How do we turn that into more sales? How do we...
Well, but also that's
know.
why capitalism is a bit of a death cult, is because it's only going to, it wants to give you nothing and make you pay everything for it. Which
Well,
is,
because it's like supply and demand, right? If somebody dies, there's no supply anymore. So the
Yeah.
demand
well.
rises.
yeah.
Well, except that we can sort of remix it and we found the lost tapes and the lost footage, right?
Well, all the Marley kids are living off of, and grandkids and grandkids are living off of.
Yeah.
Right, well, there's also the Marley brand
Yeah.
of marijuana cigarettes. So the name itself can carry this value that continues, right?
I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, but in the end, like, I think the way I want to look at my life is okay. So how does it feel ultimately at the end of the day? You know, the most important is I like creating. Like I like writing music. I love making these music videos with Lady Beaver, and maybe that's enough.
Yeah. And to me, like us even doing this podcast,
Yeah.
who knows?
This is so beautiful here, guys.
So this is kind of, we're entering into what we would consider the main part of, this is the rainforest.
Oh.
Yeah, of the rainforest, the famous rainforest hike. So I consider like right here we're coming into it, and then there's a kind of a long patch. We'll go out to, there's a beautiful rock that we can look at a view off of.
That's pretty. I love the way the bark, like
Yeah.
the trunks of these trees. It's
And we're
amazing.
getting, the crickets and the frogs are coming out, the night creatures.
It's so cool.
Yeah, that little river that we passed by, you'll hear some frogs on the way back.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if they're out, you'll
All right,
hear
I'll
them.
have to see them.
And this is supposed to be a fun feature, but we've had a kind of a bug with it lately.
Somebody came and lowered it.
Why
I-
was it? It was supposed to be a fun.
So it was
feature?
up, it was basically up here before.
And then you could do like
You
crunches.
could actually, no, you could actually just swing.
Oh.
But now it's so low, you can't really swing very well.
Wow.
Yeah.
But maybe you can put your two legs on it and sort of sit on
I'm
it.
going to
That's-
see if that's possible. I'm kind of skeptical,
whoa. I don't know if that's a
Yeah, it's a
great.
bit- it's
well,
not
maybe
quite.
Can you hold him, Sean, so he doesn't?
Well, no, I think you have to climb up it. I think going there is not going to be the path. Oh, I see. You're going to try to raise
but
it
how
up.
about a little bit of this? Let's see how this works. No,
No, it's not going to.
No,
It's
it's
going
going to just keep
slip.
slipping through. All right. Give me. I'd like a minute. I'm going to
Oh,
see
sure, yeah.
if I can undo this knot
Barney.
and
Come here,
make
Barney.
Come
it.
here, bud.
But then if I
Yeah, but then you have to
redo the knot and
redo
be
it in a way
confident
that.
it's actually can
Come and say
support
hi to your
something.
friend. Right here, this
Yeah,
one.
but I want to talk to you, Dad. Oh, wait. Oh, can I hold him?
Yes, please.
How
He
do
would
I-
love it. I mean, if you hold him like a baby.
Like a baby.
Yeah, he likes being held like
Oh.
a baby.
Hi,
Look at the
Dad.
little baby. Oh yeah. he's
Oh, wait. Can you take a video of me with him and
Yes.
then send it to me?
Yes.
Of course. I was going to say Sean is the best, but I didn't mean to say that. I meant to say Barney is the best.
Hey. Hey, bud. Hey.
Okay.
So we're out on this. Are you
Wait.
filming?
Where do I want to go? There. No? What? It's not giving me a timer.
Oh, you don't need a timer?
Oh, there it goes. Oh, okay.
Are you,
There it's
are you
going.
making the video?
Yeah, it's going.
Hey, all right. So I'm holding Barney, who's my new friend, and we've now entered the rainforest with all of these beautiful trees with their beautiful trunks, and we're on this hike and watching the sun go down, which is very dramatic given all of the dust and the smoke in the air. But yeah, and now we've gotten a successful swing. Did you modify
Raise it up a little bit.
Raise it up just a little bit.
So this is, I guess. Oh,
Did you get hit?
no, it was Barney. Like his paws have sand on them.
Oh,
All right, well, that was interesting. Send me that video.
I was definitely trying to orbit you, but it didn't quite
No.
work.
No, it was all good. All good.
But we got a little bit of distance,
About a
and I
foot.
think this makes enough of the
to
difference.
be able to.
So here we go. Here we go. I'll try and add a little twist this time. Up we go.
Nice.
Yeah, it actually does swing.
Woo! Good job.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Now I want to give it a try.
All right. This is. Oh my God, Sean, you've gotten operated on not long ago.
Oh yeah. So I would say though,
Wow.
when I was first coming here during the
Barney's
recovery,
so excited.
This was, and it was up here, and I would just like I just like stretch it just to be like, okay, and I'd feel it. I'd feel the stretching happening here. This was a very important part of the therapy of recovery. Yeah.
Right.
And then I started with swinging, and I started putting my full weight on it, and I was like, oh shit, my core.
The rainforest stick.
Would you like to have a go?
No, I'm good, guys.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, wait 1 second. Let me just see. I don't know if I have the strength to actually. Can you hold this? Yeah.
Yeah.
If I have the strength.
Well, you don't need to kick off real fast. You can just kind of...
Let me just see if I have the strength to. Oh, okay. Woo! Whoa! This is intense. All right.
I feel like it's something that we don't do as adults.
We don't do enough.
Yeah.
Captured me.
Yes.
Essence sportive. Fragrance for her. Oh man.
Yeah, so the coming and doing the podcast and going on a hike and occasionally having a guest, it's like it is the thing in itself. And we've developed a post-production technique. We don't really edit. We just we'll do a sync mark at 45 minutes. And if there's drift, then I'll resync it, but really music at the front, start the hike, whatever happens on the hike.
Nice.
Music at the end, publish
Nice.
it. That's it.
Nice.
And it's powerful because we do have some crazy things happen.
Oh,
but
what happened? What was one of the crazy things that happened?
Rattlesnake.
Oh wow.
Yeah, actually the last guest we had, we met a Russian bot.
What does that mean?
Well, it was just a Russian guy who was a Republican, and he was like being like really weird and racist.
Oh, but I mean, it's cool to hear the other side, I guess, right?
Yeah,
Kind
but
of get into their minds.
So part of it is, Mike normally wears a sombrero, and the guy was like, be careful, there's border patrol. So the thing. And then at first we were like, very funny. But then as we parsed it out later on, it was like, oh, that guy was just being racist. Straight up trying to scare Michael that he was going to be deported.
Really?
I think so. I think that was
I thought that was a little bit of a, I thought that was funny.
It was funny, but it was the funniness of it was based on a threat at the core. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I guess the fact that he's very focused on border patrol,
Yeah.
maybe.
Though his first thought when he saw sombrero was like, oh, I got to call immigration, or whatever.
My first thought would be that sombrero is like super cool and probably very effective at sunblocking.
I feel like you got a compliment on the sombrero even though you're not wearing it. She said it's very effective.
Very disappointed. I was promised a sombrero. I was not provided with one.
Did you promise a sombrero, Sean?
Well, kind of just now, just like as we were walking.
I feel I feel like I'm given unequal treatment with the other guests.
Well, you get the crazy hat.
You get the crazy hat.
I did get the crazy hat.
Which we found on a hike. We went to the
wisdom tree.
What?
The wisdom tree.
Wisdom tree, yes.
What is that?
It's a hike in Burbank. It's a really kind of hike. It's all uphill for like...
God, I'm really glad I missed that one.
Yeah, this is our middle hike. This is the hike that's like, it can be easy. There's easy parts of it.
Yeah, can we do the easy?
I mean, we got the uphill at the end, but you'll be warmed up by then. It won't be so bad.
Okay, cool.
But
or you guys will just carry me.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I end up carrying Barney
one
a
person
lot.
gets my arms, the other person gets the feet.
Oh, I was gonna say piggyback.
Oh, got you.
Yeah, that'll be. Then we could do fireman's carry.
I'll tell you what, I'll carry Barney in that case.
Oh my God, Barney's so much heavier than me, though.
Yeah. But yeah, there's we definitely go like off road and discover just weird back trail. I mean, like if we ever go to Sepulveda Dam, it's all full of like kind of homeless encampments and there's like a weird spider Manhattan. We found a place that was just like thousands of spider webs.
Oh,
Oh,
fuck.
but on a positive note, we found a tomato garden.
Oh, yes.
Wow.
Like a very, very large tomato garden, and a lot of the tomatoes were just like falling off of the vine and clearly weren't being harvested.
Oh, that's
so we got to
amazing.
eat these like really fresh tomatoes.
Is this thyme? It smells like thyme. It smells like some herb. Herb.
Herb's my friend. Herb's the thing.
I know. I grew up in another country, which is why some of my English words I mispronounce them.
Which country was that?
France.
Oh,
But
yes.
that's not technically an excuse because des herbes, herb. Yeah, in French it's pronounced the same way.
Oh, I think it's a fine excuse.
What's smelling? Oh, is it sage? Am I smelling sage?
Yes, it's sage.
Got
This
you.
is. There's a lot of sage out here.
All right. Whoa.
Yeah, I love the smells, and they're different during different times of the day too.
They are?
Yeah,
Oh,
they
yeah.
give off different scents, different hormones.
Whew, we are going off the beaten path.
Yes. This is a pretty.
Yeah.
All right, so if you don't want to go down that way, you can go to the right, and it's a bit less on the side of the
That
thing.
looks
It's up to you.
dangerous.
Oh yeah, this. I guess it is. I'm just used to it, so I don't
Oh
think
my
of it
God.
as
you guys,
dangerous.
You guys do your thing. I will meet you guys from the safe side, I'm
Well,
guessing.
yeah, I think Mike's going with you, right?
Yep.
Okay. I don't think this is actually very different, Mike. I think we're just going straight back to the way. Wow. Whoa. Oh, okay.
It's not so bad.
Okay.
Take your time. There's
Can
no
you hold
rush.
this?
Of course.
I'll then tie this. I can tie this around my waist.
Okay.
God, I'm not used to hiking.
If you'd like me to go first too, then
Oh.
you can use my arm as a brace if you prefer.
That's so nice of you. I think I will be okay. Actually, if you could, do you have confidence holding this and coming
Oh,
down?
for sure.
Okay, awesome. Because then I can attach.
Yeah.
I can hold
Got
on to the
both hands.
branches strategically. Make my way down.
It's like being a four-legged animal, kind of.
Catwoman has nothing on me.
Thank you for being so game for all this.
To be honest, I did not know that this was
Well,
going
this
to be.
is it's you know, we could have gone for a flatter hike.
Yes, we
Yeah.
could have,
Yeah,
Sean.
Now,
Yes, we
now,
could have.
now I know your limitation. Just real
But-
quick, but if we can do a mark right here.
Yep.
Okay, and mark.
All
Good.
right.
So we're now resynced.
Resynced.
Yes.
So we don't. Are we still being recorded?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We don't stop. We don't stop because I have the sync mark. Yeah, if you want to, I'll actually let me go and. Oh, okay.
Maybe you can just watch me.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
whoa.
that's right. But it's great. You just have to walk up it. It's pretty easy,
Cool.
and you will feel so proud of yourself from having done it.
Okay, cool. I'm going to record this on my iPhone.
Yeah.
So,
Adventure time.
so nothing's wrong here. Sean told me we were going to go on a hike, and we're going on a hike on this rock that basically on both sides is a perilous ravine. So maybe I'll see you guys tomorrow. Maybe I won't. Okay, no,
Keep going, bud.
This is super scary. Am I the only one who's scared by this? I can't be the only one having this experience. All right. Is this your like the hike that you take the girls on?
We go up here a lot. I feel like everybody, you know.
Whoa. All right.
Oh, little birdie.
We have our reasons.
Reverted to kind of crawling.
It's fine. It's fine.
My technique. Can one of you guys
Yes,
take a water
absolutely.
bottle? All right, that makes me a little bit more
Yeah.
mobile.
Going mobile.
I'm getting so mobile. Spider-Man has nothing on me. So is there an end to this rock?
I go all the way to the end, but where you're at feels like this is a spot where you get basically the 360-degree view that we're trying for here.
Oh, wait, so we're not actually going on a path.
No, this is just a place to chill for a minute.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, this
I
is the beautiful outlook. This
Oh.
is one of the places we go to as like almost maybe an end point. We'll probably turn around after this.
Got you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think people come up here and smoke joints a lot.
Good.
I think that's one of
I'd
the.
love to do that.
Yeah, we found a lot of pot trash.
Empty
Nice.
wheat containers.
Yeah.
Nice. Good to know that there's previous human settlements.
Yeah, human settlements and also really intoxicated people. That's the other. That's the other thing.
If
that
they
it's like-
didn't die,
Yeah, that's
Me-
basically that's the end point right there.
okay, cool.
You're at the end of the world.
Barney.
But look at him. He's so happy to be out here.
Wow.
I mean, it's pretty amazing,
It's
right?
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is pretty amazing.
I mean, I feel like this is one of the good things about this hike is it does have these kind of nice little features. It's still in the city.
So you guys are like hiking experts.
We're getting there.
That's amazing. You guys, are you going to write a book about hiking in LA?
Probably at some point, yes.
Yeah.
Although at this point, sort of this
Is the book.
audio diary, that because we've been doing these recordings 5 days a week. Mm-hmm. So we've already got 27 of these episodes up for an hour and a half long. So this itself is sort of a book would be, a more condensed thesis on it. Perhaps we will, but right now we're just accumulating all this time and stories and emotions and.
That's so cool. That's awesome, guys.
I think so. I think it's a beautiful piece of art, and we're giving ourselves to at least 100 episodes
That's
to figure out.
awesome!
We're a quarter of the way through now,
That's
27%
awesome.
of the way through, and this is the work. And if the work is just going for a hike and feel it, do you want to?
Yeah, this is a great time to have some water.
Oh yeah.
Do you want your?
Oh yeah, can you?
I'd
oh
recommend
wow, I
it.
didn't. Oh, you can do that with that.
Yeah. So
This
if
is
you-
Erica's. This is Erica's.
somebody else.
This is somebody else's water.
Here, can you find me a little bit here?
Mm-hmm. Alrighty. This is really cool. Well, if you need a dance for your book,
Right? Oh yes. Speaking of, I told you she's coming out. She's got a ticket for the 12th.
yes,
Yes.
yes, I'm so grateful.
Yeah. So it feels a little bit. Have you talked to her?
yeah,
Feels
why-
like a little bit like a human trafficking situation going on over there. Like they just
Yeah.
make her work like 12 hours a day.
yeah, it's
Shady.
very shady.
Shady as fuck.
Yeah, it's very shady. She needs to get out. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very shady. So I'm so grateful that she can crash for a week.
Yeah, a week, and then we'll, like I told her, don't worry about working, just so give her a place to just settle, start making connections, trying to figure out what her next step is.
Yeah. She said she's already starting to reach out to friends.
Oh, good.
For but that's super. I'm super grateful.
But also,
Yeah.
LA is going to be a much more forgiving. I don't know where she's at right now.
She's in Michigan.
Michigan.
Yeah.
But it sounds like it might be a little bit semi-rural where she's at.
Very rural.
Yeah,
She's in the middle
so-
of nowhere. Yeah.
So being in the city is going to give her a lot more opportunities.
yeah,
anyways.
and she's so talented. She's incredibly talented at what she does.
Oh yeah, I told my roommate today that she's going to be coming, and he's happy to help her out. But he also knows some dancers, so
Oh, that's
maybe
amazing.
yeah, so maybe he can point her in the direction of something.
Yeah.
I mean, part of it is like I want to help, and I told you about the complicated situation with my roommate. Yeah, so I mean,
Wait, what complicated situation?
Oh, Dan is in the hospital. So she could possibly use Dan's room. He's in the hospital because of late stage alcoholism. He's had fucking organ failures. He's been on dialysis. He has some neurological damage. I think he may have had a stroke. But he texted me today, so it sounds like he's on the mend. So I don't know when he's going to be back, but we either have a couch for her or
that's
the
awesome.
bed or.
Yeah, no, and I forgot what I was going to say. No, that's simply so nice. Yeah, she's already contacting people, and and she's it is a bad situation that she's in out there.
Yeah, and she just needs to not be victimized. That's the best way I could put it. Like being taken advantage of because she's in this delicate position.
Yeah.
She just needs to not have her back against the wall for a period of time. Then it'll allow her to think and
And she's doing amazing. Like her following on her socials is growing because her
Yeah.
dancing is really good. So yeah, I don't know. Well, actually, she could do the choreography if you needed any. She's a professional.
Look, I would love to have a book that somehow had a dance.
had
in the
choreography
book.
in it.
Right? Mixed media. Just
Sean
put it
and
all
Michael.
together.
I mean, seriously,
The Sean and Michael dance.
If somebody came up with some like simple yet like powerful moves that we could just like memorize and be coordinated, then we could just go to locations. Do you guys know what fooning is? Fooning is this thing that hikers, and I'll show you what it is.
Be
Are you
careful.
gonna foon?
I'm going to foon right here.
Oh my God.
So it's basically it's about.
Should this be caught on camera?
You
I kinda
can.
think it is.
So
Sean,
it's,
don't fall off.
It's
Sean,
basically
hold on. Let me.
it's like this. It's like this.
Hold on. Wait.
Okay, I'm just trying to get in a good spot.
Maybe
Alright,
don't.
let's see the foon.
Get a spot
Okay.
away from.
No, I think this is a good spot. So it's like something like this, and then people will animate the foon, and it'll make it look like you're hopping all over the world.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's this move that hikers do.
Oh.
Foon.
You
Yeah.
should create your own move.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If we have some kind of like dance move that's like unique to our situation,
Yes.
us hiking and whatever we're capable of, and if I could figure out a way to show my
Peace
scar, any chance to show my scar.
Yeah, battle scars. That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure between you, Michael, me, and Nanda, we will find a personalized Michael Sean foon.
Yes. Ultimately what we'd like is either some kind of sponsor or somebody that just is like, oh, you guys need to go on a hike every day. And I'm like, yeah. I don't know what that is.
cool.
Yeah, we'll just talk about fucking some kind of water or
Water, hiking shoes,
water bottle.
hiking gear.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. I see that happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Thank
awesome.
you.
That's
Thank you.
awesome.
The heavens listen. She is calling out to you.
Yeah.
Sponsors.
Sponsors. Have you thought about like making any videos of the hikes?
We do a little bit.
we-
So
should we
what I think
return?
our next piece of equipment that we're going to buy.
Although before we return,
Yes.
I'm going to be a little OCD, and I'm going to do just a little mic check to make sure
Yeah,
you're
of course.
running. So just in case we're not, we can get the second half.
Yeah, of course.
So let's just have a look here. Oh, we're looking great. We're looking
Awesome.
great.
Fantastic.
So our next piece of equipment is either going to be a GoPro for us
Yes,
or GoPro
yes.
for Barney. Wouldn't that be?
No, you should put the GoPro on Barney.
See, right?
We haven't done the mind bark yet.
Yes.
We want to do an episode that's just a mic that's on Barney, and you just hear.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think Barney's a very sellable
Oh no, that's
aspect
so
of
sellable.
it. Yeah, I think we could even probably get some kind of like major dog food company
Yeah.
as a
Oh,
sponsor.
sure.
You know, this.
Healthy dogs, healthy life, healthy
Yeah.
hiking.
Yeah.
That's
You know?
awesome. I would love to see a hike from Barney's POV.
Right.
That'd be so good. That'd be so fun. Ah, okay.
I mean, like as many miles as we have, he's got just as many, maybe more, because he's a bit of a spaz.
But he's got 4 legs.
Yeah,
Well, he
So-
runs back and forth, but we also carry him sometimes.
yeah, that's true. He does. He gets carried across streets a lot
Aww.
because it's just easier
Yeah, probably safer.
than because he is pretty good about staying.
All right, I'm going to go the treacherous way for
Nice.
variety's sake.
I decided to go the non-treacherous way.
But that way is very treacherous because that has like
It's
dust
slippery.
on it. Yeah, it's slippery. I have to. This way looks a little bit. After doing the whole slippery dust thing. Ah, yes. Yes. Ah. Yeah, the sage.
There's Barney. Such a good boy. Yeah, he was feeling it on some of our hot days, though.
Did you guys hike that super hot record-breaking day?
No, that was luckily a day off.
Okay.
And
We've hiked in some real hot stuff.
Yeah,
we didn't hike that
we
day.
definitely tortured ourselves.
We took a punishment walking up this trail called in Wildwood Canyon, and it's this kind of just constantly uphill hiking towards like this antenna, and it's on a side of the mountain where there's like You're just getting the sun right on you, and there's no trees or cover.
Well, that's good. That I wasn't on that.
No, this is the moderate hike. This is the hike where,
This is the girl hike.
or well, just like
Well, let's not be sexist. I'm being sexist against my own kind.
It's we could do flat hikes if people are like, oh, I don't know if I want to do a hike. We have plenty of flat hikes that we can do, but this one is like, it feels like a real hike without being like
intense. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, Barney. I'm sorry.
And it's really our go-to, and I think our familiarity with the hike kind of helps to establish a familiarity with our guests, right?
That's true,
'Cause
yeah.
We're so comfortable with the space that...
That's so cool. I absolutely
helps.
love the idea of putting a GoPro on Barney.
right. I've looked
That
up
is
these
gold.
the dog camera harnesses and
Well,
they're
Sean,
kinda like
I
these-
have a GoPro.
Oh, that's so cute.
I've got a GoPro.
I did. Oh, I'll just order a harness then in the next couple days.
Barney, you're going to become a celebrity.
Also, here's a thing that's been repeated now. Our last hiker that joined us, she, when we went to that rock, she went the safe way on the way to the rock, and then on the way back decided to go up the more difficult way. So maybe there's some confidence gained on the large
Maybe.
rock.
Also, it looks less challenging coming, but the thing is, it just looks safer from that angle than it does from this angle. When you're coming from this angle, you're looking down.
What was your thinking?
Well, my thinking was that way going through it was actually more unsafe than the other way.
The slippery.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was
because
more
it's slippery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe so.
I typically go the one route, but and again, like once you're on the rock, you're like, oh, this is actually a broad path. It's not sheer. It's like,
I think my fear came because I thought that was a hiking path to another place, and I was
Yeah.
like, whoa, like the hiking path looks really steep on the other side.
how do we get down?
We just wanted to take you to the brink of something. It's just like just a smidge. It's not even climbing, really. It's still just hiking.
Yeah, I mean, but
No, it's super nice.
It feels,
It's super nice.
It feels a little challenging, and now you got that under your belt.
I do
you're-
now. I'm proud.
Yeah, now you've accomplished.
I've been productive.
yeah.
I've earned my retirement.
That is something we feel great about. If we do a hike every day, then it's like, and we do it usually in the morning. Although we've been subbing in evenings now for the sake of it being cool. But it's like, as long as we get in that hike, then we know we've done something for the day.
Yeah.
Not only artistically, but also for our health and for our sanity.
Yeah, and on some levels, if there is a business to be had here, we're building our business.
No,
You
and
know?
you're being creators and artists, which is what's being
Yeah.
humans about that basically.
Yeah.
So
I view
think that's
art
awesome.
kind of like this byproduct of the leisure and comfort that comes with civilization. Mm-hmm. So take dogs, all right?
Yes.
Dogs, they have all kinds of different fur, all kinds of different spots, all kinds of different color.
Yep.
Right? All this like variation.
All kinds of different GoPro harnesses.
Yes. Now wolves, for example, I mean, of course they have tons of variation, but they don't have as much variation.
Yeah,
And,
because they're very similar in. I don't know.
well, my
They haven't
understanding of
been
it.
bred as much, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, my understanding of it, though, is partly that when you're out in the wild and it's very much like survival of the fittest, a lot of recessive genes get bred out very quickly.
Gotcha. And
All,
for dogs.
all the pug genes are gone from
Oh my
wolves.
god!
But then once you've got dogs and now
all
they're
the
in this
Paris Hilton
environment,
dogs don't make it.
you know, they're in an environment where, you know, it doesn't hurt their camouflage if they're, you know, crazy colors or whatever.
Yeah.
Then suddenly all these recessive, what would otherwise be recessive, non-helpful genes now have this chance to flourish.
Yep.
So I kind of view art in a similar way. Mm-hmm. It's like we have these minds, and once we don't have to spend our every moment on our survival, our brains are still like going and making associations. And it's like, well, what do we do with all this extra energy? And so all of our individual artistic expression is kind of like a version, our personality's version of all these different like colors and spots kind of coming out.
That's a super cool way of looking at it. I have a story about wolves. I spent some time with wolves
What?
for a TV show. They I spent, I guess, 30 minutes in a pack of wolves, and the way you make that happen for human beings to be able to be safely around them is you make the alpha wolf of the pack. You make him like a half dog, half wolf.
Oh.
So the other wolves, and the other important thing is,
And so he's like a smarty pants compared to, or whatever. He's got a little bit of that domestication.
Since he's the alpha,
Yeah.
he shows the other wolves, hey, don't eat the humans.
Ah.
And the other thing they said is like, you can never introduce a female wolf to the pack. As soon as you introduce a female wolf, they become like very vicious again.
Man,
But
this
as long-
sounds a lot like some other species I'm very familiar with.
Why? As soon
know.
as you introduce a female to like a group of men? I don't think that's true.
Well, there's two things happen. I think one thing is like everybody's like, The other thing that happens is it can have this interesting like pacifying effect where it's like, oh, okay, the woman's here.
I
We
guess
just
it
need to
depends
chill.
upon the female presence.
Yeah, and also
right?
the dudes, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But I found that, a lot of dude packs that I've been around, as soon as a girl shows up, they're like,
Oh my god!
but that's also
so funny.
That's also this thing being around performers that have that energy. They will just like all their jokes and their all the little gambles that they do to try to get attention, and they'll also like fucking.
You mean the men or the women?
The men will also then
Women
like
will do it too.
Women will do it too, but the men will then also like make fun of the other dudes to exert dominance.
Just, one-upsmanship and
Yeah.
sort of, well, I mean, it's an extension of the fact that I think whenever a new person is introduced to a group, there is a sort of social shuffling that takes place. Where does this person fit in, and
That'd
sort of a
be-
demonstration of where everyone else kind of fits in this group.
That'd
right?
be really interesting to
And
like.
it has to do with the culture of the group too, of course. Of course.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting.
I mean, it'd be interesting to have like a documentary where, you do that. I mean, I'm sure it's been done like with. I mean, no, basically, it's already been done.
Well, I'd say reality
TV.
shows
Yeah.
are anthropological investigations of human behavior.
Yeah,
But they're not really like true. I mean, I've been on reality shows in China. They're all scripted.
Oh yeah, but again,
not
like
very
it's
truthful.
but I think it's definitely exploring those archetypical behaviors.
Yeah.
Right? So that you have a wedding show, it's like, well, what are the worst behaviors that people will do while they're, going to plan a wedding?
Yeah, and manufacture a stressful environment, or at least a very stimulating environment, so it brings out all of this humanity in people.
So you hung out with a pack of wolves for a half hour.
Yeah.
What did you do with the wolves?
So you can play fetch with them.
What?
Yeah, and they're very interesting because when you see a wolf, right? First of all, like when they come, like so we were basically put in a sort of like enclosure field, but smaller, and then they kind of like it was a guy. He was a famous animal director for movies, so he had a lot of different animals. He had bears.
Gotcha.
And so he had like wolves, right? And so he said, let's just go in the enclosure and then I'll let all the wolves in. So it was a pack of like 12 wolves.
Wow.
And you could see it was really funny because they act a little like dogs,
Yeah.
but then they have these huge claws. Like they don't have like feet like dogs have paws. They have claws, not paws. And so you realize like you're playing, and they're really big also. Wolves are huge, and you're playing fetch, and they're coming next to you, and they're panting, and you can touch them and
they're
everything.
being kind of sweet because they're
Yeah.
in that kind of playful puppy mode.
But then when they're on a rock or up high, you see like the claws that are huge, and you're like, right, this is not a dog, this is a wolf. It's very different. But it was really, it was a very surreal experience. But I mean, it didn't last for a long time. But
I also think that, so you said it's a half domestic, he's got some kind of parentage of a husky or some shit.
yes. Like a half wolf, half dog.
In the dog training world, the way they kind of talk about dogs is a smart dog is one that takes to training. So, that's typically when they talk about, kind of like, oh, he's such a smart dog. It means that he's obedient. And I think
That's what they say about children in school.
Smart children are the obedient ones.
Well, they're the ones that take to the training.
Yeah.
It's very. Have you seen the show? What's the show? There's a show with this British girl that I was obsessed with for a while. It was called, it's like something like, basically she goes and she finds these cases of dogs that are like misbehaving, right? And then like there was a really funny one which was Pom Pom, Teddy Pom Pom, right?
And he was like a Pomeranian or something?
He was a Pomeranian, but he was terrorizing the whole village. And it's all narrated in British, right? So it's like, Teddy Pom Pom goes out on a walk. There is his next victim.
Everything sounds better in a British accent.
It's like Teddy Pom Pom, and you know, and then Victoria, what is her name? Victoria Gladwood or something is the British, and she's like,
Gladwood. Oh man, these names.
or I don't know if it's something else. I'm sure I'm getting it wrong, but she's like, she comes in and she sees Teddy Pom Pom like humping everybody and biting all the children, and she's like, Teddy Pom Pom is out of control. Like, you know, and then she basically, over the course of a week, kind of trains the dog, and it's always the same training. It's basically teaching the dog that he is not the alpha.
Yeah.
Because the only reason dogs misbehave is because they're asserting dominance.
They don't know who's in charge.
They don't know who's in charge.
Yeah.
Well, no, they think they're in charge.
Well, yeah. When they don't know who's in charge, they take charge.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like confusion. I'm going to do this.
Yeah, and it's so funny because Victoria, she always like makes this chart for the family. She's always like, "This is where you think. This is where you think Teddy Pom Pom is in the hierarchy." You know, and then you see Teddy Pom Pom at the bottom, and like the parents and the children on top. And she's like, "But this is what the hierarchy looks like in Teddy Pom Pom's brain." And then you see Teddy Pom Pom at the top. And then there's like the guy, and then the wife is like below. Like the wife is the end of the hierarchy, and the children are somewhere in the middle. It's so funny.
Wow. Well, it is. I find like when dogs are misbehaving, and it can be anybody, but it tends to be a female, a woman, master, owner, whatever, that is worried about being too dominant of their dog.
Well, I've got a friend who, a male friend, who has the same feeling, and that dog definitely runs the situation.
It's very, with your friend, the dog runs the situation.
Yeah, because he never wants to
Be the bad guy.
I mean, even the barest form of strict.
Gotcha.
Like he can't maintain a position of like sternness even for the briefest of moment. Right?
Got you.
It's always just, I can't stay mad at you. Oh, love, love, love. Like it doesn't matter what the behavior is. You know, he just refuses, and it doesn't mean you have to get angry and yell. I would argue that's totally counterproductive. But it does mean, asserting boundaries, right? Assert your boundaries in life.
Sometimes Victoria will come in and watch the family kind of interact with the dog for a little bit. Mm-hmm. And like there was one scene where Teddy Pom Pom does something atrocious, like pee or like bite a kid, and then his owner is like, "Oh, Teddy Pom Pom, that's bad. Come here on the couch." And she's like, Victoria was like, "Good job, Teddy Pom Pom. Good job. You bit somebody and you peed. That's great. Let's reward you." But it's like, what's interesting I find about the show is that basically teaching the dog they're not the alpha is the same process every time. And the main thing is you eat first and then the dog eats. So in every episode, the person that the dog is asserting dominance over, Victoria's like, you have to pretend you're eating the dog food and then give the dog the bowl. Yep. And then they eat. Because that's how dogs understand, this
guy eats first.
The alpha eats first.
Yeah. So when I prepare Barney's lunch, and he typically eats before me, but I'm always snacking on the chicken. Like he gets roasted chicken, so I'm always snacking on it the whole time and making him wait. You gotta wait. You gotta wait.
So you're feeding him like you're obviously the alpha.
Yeah. And now he knows where his position is with Michael also.
Oh.
Like everybody's the boss of Barney. That's what I tell people. It's like he gets to be the low man on the totem pole, but everybody loves him. He's the little runt in the pack. But
he has to do
everybody
the 6-hour hikes.
Yeah. Oh, that's the other thing is I learned when I was first getting recovering from my surgery. He tried to dominate me. Because he saw me coming all weakly in from the hospital. And
how was he dominating you?
Well, he tried to hump me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ooh, free
Yeah,
humps
so-
for the
Whoa,
Humphreys.
Barney.
Yeah, so I would be sitting on the couch all like drugged up and almost drooling. And he'd come up and try to hump me, and I'd just be like, throw him down.
Oh
Just
my
because you
gosh.
just got to. You just can't let them assert any dominance.
Oh, Barney.
And eventually, like, then when I started hiking again,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I can, he's outpacing me.
Got you.
But within a couple weeks, I was able to, like, I went away to a silent meditation retreat.
How was that?
It
Tell me
was
about that.
amazing.
So what do you feel like you get from, so you couldn't talk for like 2 weeks?
Couldn't talk for 10 days.
So what did you feel like you got from not talking for 10 days?
It was amazing. And I don't agree with the philosophy because it's a Buddhist. I mean, like, I'm mostly
It's a
Buddhist.
non-nihilist philosophy.
Well, and again, like, well, actually, at the heart of some Buddhism, there is some nihilism, but this one was very strict on a lot of these policies and at the core of it, what they were teaching is that you're trying to change your past life karma through meditation.
Got you.
And again, I think meditation is a very powerful tool, and
you
we're
don't-
all
But you don't believe in past lives.
well. But the way that it was kind of like the only point in reaching nirvana was so that you didn't have to be reincarnated back into the wheel of life.
Yeah.
And I don't care about that. I'm not worried about being reincarnated back into the wheel of life because I'm not, that's not part of the,
Your belief system.
yeah, it's a silly thing to add. But what my analysis overall is that I think Buddha, one of the ways that they talk about Goenka was the leader. He's dead now. But one of the ways that they talk about it, I think Buddha was using breaking the wheel of reincarnation as a way of speaking directly to the people of his time because they were all Hindu. Mm-hmm. And I think that he was saying, look, this is for everybody. Because that's the thing that I think that he did that was revolutionary, is he brought these meditation practices to poor people.
Got you. Yep.
It wasn't just for the working class. I mean, for the
Rich.
moneyed class.
The caste.
So, Ava,
yeah.
what do you think of all this spiritual stuff? Where do you fall? What are your beliefs? I'm curious.
Well, what were you raised?
I was raised Catholic.
How do you feel about that?
Well, I do believe in some form of higher power and design.
Do you want to use my headlamp instead of your phone?
I'm good for now,
Okay.
but maybe if it gets steeper,
Yeah.
I might use it, but thank you.
No, this is all the same. We've already been on this.
So I do, I personally believe that, I don't know if reincarnation happens like we would imagine it, like it's the same person just in a different body, but I do believe that I find it personally useful for me to believe that in this lifetime it's about my soul, like my personhood being on a journey to reach a state of enlightenment. So I don't know if it matters. For some, you could say, reincarnation is a good reason to reach enlightenment, but also enlightenment is just peace, and for an addict brain like mine, it's very hard to get peace. And so for me to be able to work on myself and to reach a level of peace and acceptance, I think would be amazing. So I do. In that sense, I don't think I'm a nihilist. I do believe in a design and a reason. I do believe that the challenges I have in this lifetime are for the betterment of my soul and for my personal growth. Of course, it's easy for me to say that when I'm on a hike in beautiful nature.
Well, that's great. It's great that it's easy to say that.
No, but
but in my normal day-to-day life, I'm just like, fuck, I've got to scrape by. You've got to survive in LA. You've got to.
But okay, so as a person that has got a lot of spiritual leanings, right?
Yeah.
It's like when we talk about the lessons.
Oh, look at this! It's so beautiful.
Yeah, actually, let's go to there's a little tree that we can. There's a little bench
Oh,
we
right,
can
a
sit
tree.
under.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, we won't go down this path because it's a little tricky in the dark.
Yeah, let's.
But this tree here has a bench.
Oh, nice.
But I do
Yeah.
have a spiritual bend, even though I'm mostly an atheist. I would say like you can take the energy of being here on the hike, right, and remind yourself later on,
Yeah.
and be like, oh, the world is more like the hike
Yeah.
rather than the stress or the other things. That are
Yeah,
out there.
I feel like for me, and I feel like this hike is definitely going to be helpful throughout my week. I feel like also another thing is just turning off my phone earlier in the evening and turning it on later.
So we got a little bench there, and
That's
we can
so nice.
and we can look at the city.
This is great, guys. This is amazing.
Right.
This is so cool.
And now, s'mores!
Does anybody have a firewood? Oh, what's that?
That's a leash. I'm going to take it home. Why not?
Oh,
Another fucking leash.
good eyesight.
I think there was a different leash here the other day, 2 or 3 days ago.
Whenever you're missing leashes, you'll just come here.
So I'll tell the story. I've told it probably half a dozen times on the podcast already, every time we come to this spot. So I found a pickaxe on a piece of the hike. Somebody had stuck it in a tree. And I was like, oh, cool, I got a pickaxe. And I was fucking carrying it around. And I came here to take a break, and I hung it in the tree here. And I fucking forgot it, and I left. I came back the next day and somebody had taken a blood capsule and made it look as if there was blood dripping off of the pickaxe.
Wow.
And I was just like, it's like art. We created
That's
a piece
so
of art together.
cool. It
And
feels
then,
like Burning Man.
yeah, and then somebody later on took the pickaxe and it was
When
gone.
was your last Burning Man?
It was last year.
Oh, wow. I've only been once. And
Yeah,
it
me
was,
too.
I don't know. I feel like maybe 6 or 8 years ago at this point.
Yeah. Did you like it, or
Oh, I loved it. It was great.
did you feel like you wanted to go back, or?
I definitely would like to go back. I want to bring my performance there. I want to go back as an artist. When I went first,
Yeah.
I was going as just as a person enjoying the art. But I would love to go back there as an artist.
So doing stand-up comedy, or?
I do a character, so I want to go around in character and interact
Oh my god,
with
that'd
people.
be awesome.
I got to play a giant. As normal in Burning Man, you're wandering through the desert, and then you see these giant, 3-story Tetris pieces in a circle, and then you climb up on top of the zigzag piece, and then there's the Tetris piece is vertically standing in the center of them all, and there's a giant Tetris game that you can play against people in the middle of the desert, and so I did that.
That's amazing.
And but I mean, you know how it is with Burning Man. There's so many different art installations. But being the kind of walker and hiker that I now realize I am, I enjoy just that walking out in the desert and even being a little hot. And
Have you been to
I've
Burning
never
Man?
been. I
but
don't.
it's also very expensive.
Yeah.
And it's
very expensive.
it is kind of a. I feel like there's. I feel like there's a lot of privilege that goes into it because you have to bring so much resource with you
Yep.
to create this temporarily sort of sustaining environment.
Yeah. It's
And
also
then, of
been
course,
taken
people
over
have
by
to
the Instagrammers, which is annoying.
Oh, right. There's that too. But from what I understand from people who have been doing Burning Man longer, I mean, I only did it once, but who have been doing it since the beginnings. It's like every year there's always a new complaint about these people are taking it over. Oh, these people are taking it over. It's just this perpetual process of it always being taken over by another group that's not doing it right.
Yeah.
And it's well, that's just kind of life.
I'm one of the complainers.
How many times have you been?
Only once.
Okay.
Once.
I don't think I'll ever go. I was a Deadhead back in the 90s.
What's a deadhead?
A person that followed the Grateful Dead.
Oh.
And it's got this. The energy is very similar, but you're following the band from venue to venue, and it's a kind of a whole caravan community, and everybody's selling everybody's shit, and they're selling drugs to the people from the town that are coming to the show, and it's all this kind of interconnectedness going on. There's art, but it had more of a nomadic caravan feel to it. And I don't want fucking playa dust in my butt. There's a lot of a lot of base discomforts that unless you have the money to be able to buy your way out of it, you're going to have to deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say for me, what I thought was interesting. Well, first of all, Burning Man. I came back from there and it cured my eating disorder.
Yeah, that's
it was
why. That's
so
why.
weird.
Yeah. Where did I see? It must have been something you posted about that.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
just like, it was just such an experience of being outside of society. And I think for somebody who's very, my brain is very codependent, so I'm very scared of like social norms, and I feel very uncomfortable with going out of social norms. But for people with a stronger mindset, like, you know, like you guys, you can bring Burning Man with you. You can bring that kind of thought process with you everywhere you are. But for somebody like me, it was like good to get out.
Well, you needed to go to the initiation. You needed to be
Yeah.
initiated into the cult of wonders. You needed to wear the weird robes and smell the fucking smells and.
Oh my God!
yeah.
There was like, man, there were a few things that the classes that I went to at Burning Man, I was like, oh my God, this is so far out. So there was a tantric class, which was basically about like having some kind of weird energetical sex between people with their clothes on. That was like wild. There was like
Cool.
an alchemy dance. There was like, I'm trying to think of other stuff that was like weird and out there.
Well, I saw one that was just like, John takes his morning shit. And you just watched the guy go out to like a toilet, and he had like a newspaper, and he would just sit there every morning, and
That's
like that was
amazing.
his
That's so good.
his thing.
Oh my God, that's so amazing.
But it's interesting because I think a lot of what people get from Burning Man are experiences that I've been seeking, and
The city is pretty though, right?
Oh
yeah. It's a goddamn
I do.
valley.
I like it like better at night than in the day.
So I was watching the trailer to Truman Show. You guys know this movie?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And as it turns out, his name is Truman Burbank, I think is his name.
Uh-huh.
Right? And the dome starts right here, just behind the Hollywood sign. So basically, the valley is where the Truman Show
Wow.
takes place. This is literally where the Truman Show
Wait,
takes
where's the
place.
Hollywood sign? There, right? Down there.
It is this way.
Oh, that way, okay.
Wait, no, that way. You're right.
That
it's
way,
that
yeah.
way.
Okay, cool.
Well, I also just
Yeah,
want
we
to
saw
take a
it today.
second to appreciate the night sounds.
What is that, a bird?
Whatever that one over there.
Is that a bird?
Yeah, I think so.
Is it the titmouse?
Oh, wouldn't that be great?
It returns.
Definitely feel these sounds kind of bring my mind back to somewhere like more primal, right? I know it's kind of a hack thing to say.
No,
it's
but
like
I-
these are sounds that we're all familiar with, but like we never hear them.
And I would say, like, if in the tens of thousands of years of prehistory history of us sitting in the night quietly, not wanting to be hunted by some animal, this is the sound that you're just listening to endlessly. You know, sometimes people are sleeping, other people are awake, but this is what you're listening. And then if you hear the crickets make some kind of different noise over there, maybe like, oh, predator is coming. You know, maybe you get your spear ready or whatever, you know. I think this is the sound, like when you say primal, I think this is the sound where if you were hundreds of thousands of years of us just being on the savannah, you're just hearing these noises.
The only thing we're missing is the stars on account of the light pollution,
Yeah.
which is a real shame.
Do you think people didn't have like ADHD back then? 'Cause
Yeah,
wouldn't it
no,
be
for sure.
boring?
I think ADHD is actually a modern diagnosis of a mismatch between our perceptions and our ability to think, like in relation to those perceptions, right? Because I think it has something to do with. I don't think it was boring because I think that you would be attentively listening to the night sounds.
That's
Right?
maybe.
You'd be like.
But wouldn't it be boring after a night? Like but that's why they got stories.
Yeah, and then
There
you
was
tell stories, or then
yeah.
you know, like if
Singing and dancing
you'd go to sleep, and you know, but that's how, you know, culture was built on those moments.
That's so funny because for us, like going back there, us having Netflix and our mind is so overstimulated by everything.
Well, right. I think boredom is sort of a reaction in some ways to this overstimulation.
Yeah.
I mean, boredom is kind of an inability to relax, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
I feel like
And that's
nothing needs to be going on right now. I can just exist and kind of take in what's around me and let my mind wander, right?
And I think ADHD has to do with a little bit of like hypervigilance combined with not the right activity or stimulation for that, right? Because if you go to a fucking class, I was listening to a podcast where they were talking to Seth Rogen's mother.
Oh.
It's called So We Called Your Mom. It's Beth Stelling and her mother call famous people's mothers.
Okay.
And
that's kind of cool.
so one of the things that she was saying is like, Seth always did better in classes where he was allowed to pace in the back.
Gotcha.
Right? But I know I was being yelled at all of my life for fidgeting and staring off into space and like all these things that are just like, I think part of me, you know, if a teacher is fucking boring, I'm going to start telling stories in my own head and stare off into space.
Yeah.
Or it's fun to look out the window.
Yeah. Look at all the other stuff that's going on.
Yeah, it's like, not that they have to make education more interesting, but it's like the structure of formal education is just, I don't think it's doing anybody any favors.
Well, I don't think education teaches us how to live happy lives.
Oh no,
not at all.
it's about conformity.
And if you're lucky, a little bit of critical thinking.
Yeah.
If you're lucky. But Ava, I was wondering, I have to know a little bit about your pop star in China
Oh my God.
situation.
That's how I sold you to get on the podcast.
Yeah, I mean,
It's the only reason Michael accepted me to come on this podcast.
Well, I
and yet
also
we
was
haven't
like,
talked
she's
about
a
it yet.
musician.
It was a lie, Michael. It was a lie.
it was a lie.
No, I'm
well,
just joking.
I've lived in Japan, so
Really?
I've dealt with the sort of like you come back and then that's the thing they know about you, and then you give your like, well, how could I sum up my life in this situation? So I understand that I'm kind of, putting you in the situation to do that.
Oh no, but how long did you spend in Japan?
A couple years, 2.5 years.
That's amazing.
And I taught English, and I lived in snow country, and lived in a small town.
That's cool.
Let me do one more slate here.
And I will be happy to tell you more,
Yeah.
but I would also like to hear
Oh, of
about
course.
your. And I'm also curious about artistic expression in China, too.
Mark?
And how you felt you could express yourself artistically in the context of that country.
Yeah, so I think a lot of my experience in China was about conforming to what they wanted from me. And I did it very well. I was a blonde white girl who was young, and I spoke good Chinese. And so I was really lucky. I got to the country when young blonde white girls who spoke fluent Mandarin were very rare. Mm-hmm. And so without really having any credentials or craft, I kind of just became a TV personality because I was a rarity and people wanted to know what I thought about it. I would say...
And probably, were you funny?
For me, I guess the one advantage I have with learning languages is a lot of people are scared of making mistakes when they learn language, but because I have that codependent side of myself where I like making people laugh because it makes me feel validated. And so I always thought that language learning was an opportunity for me to make mistakes and make light of, make people laugh around me.
Yeah.
So I had, I think, I'm speaking from the point of view of like, as an artist, what did I bring to the table that was valid? I don't really think I had experienced enough in life. I had come to this foreign culture and there was so much for me to learn in order to fit in that I just spent most of my time doing that there. And I think a few high points were when I participated in that diving show, and then I dove off of like the 30 feet diving board. And there was a lot of like, being on live TV and then having people recognize me in the streets.
Hello.
Oh, wow.
How are you?
Hi there.
How's it going? Your herald
Oh,
announced your presence.
hi there.
Hey, guys.
So I think it was, again, coming back to my spirituality, I think
Hey, buddy.
my spirituality, like the the universe kind of felt like I needed a lot of validation. And so it gave me a situation where I could earn that validation it was still years of working before I was able to make a living for myself, but then it was relatively easy. And so I don't know if that really makes sense. I mean, if you're asking me about the culture over there, it's a beautiful country with amazing people. It is, of course, not a country that you can express yourself freely in. Especially me being a TV host, there were very strict rules about what I could and could not say, which I adhered to because I wanted to make money.
Yeah, it's a job.
And, but the food is amazing, the people are amazing, the culture, the language is so rich and beautiful. The landscape, there's so many different kinds of landscapes in China that are breathtaking. But it's also a country of, what I say in some ways it might be a little bit, it's hard for me to say which is the worst, which is the better political system. It is better. I do think on a whole, like, freedom of speech is the most important thing. And not having freedom of speech is really, really, really awful. It stunts everybody's growth on so many levels.
Oh, interesting. Growth, yes, that's an interesting.
Yeah, so that's sort of my. But I still have a lot of my friends are over there, and I still love it. But I felt like I feel like it was kind of what I needed at a certain point in my existence, and I owe a lot to that country for taking care of me and harboring me when I needed a safe space. They're very family oriented, so that was also felt very safe for me. But yeah, so tell me about your. I don't know if you had any particular questions or.
No, I really just wanted to throw the subject out there and just hear what you had to say about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Sorry, can you?
Oh, sure.
This is very. Oh, we're back at the Crook.
Back at the creek.
What did you think of Japan?
Hold on, I just want to check to see if the frogs are out.
Oh yes, frogs.
They don't seem like they're out. Are they?
No, they might have heard us coming too and shut the fuck up.
Now, when you can hear them, they're real loud, but I guess they're just quiet today.
Well, maybe nobody's trying to get laid tonight. Maybe they're all just like sated.
All right, so can you give me a little bit of direction, and I'll be happy to tell you.
So, what to tell you? Are there aspects of Japanese culture that you like better than American culture?
Oh, sure. I like that they place a lot of value on like sticking to one thing and sort of doing it and becoming like incrementally better at it over a very long period of time. And sort of taking the satisfaction of mastering a particular task and not feeling like you have to be everything to everyone, right? It's like being good at a very specific thing. I mean, sure, we reward that here too. We definitely do.
But there's less of an emphasis on craftsmanship and artisanship maybe here.
Right, and I mean, you can see this sort of, it's a documentary, so you can take it for what it's worth. And, maybe I fetishize it a little bit, but, you can see something like Jiro dreams of sushi, right? There's an example of like a guy who's just like dedicated his whole life to doing one thing. No, I don't necessarily, I like doing all kinds of different things. But when it comes to my comedy and my performance art, I definitely have a sort of like, there's a large degree of repetition in it. And I'm sort of like, well, if I get really good at doing this one particular thing, and like reading Steve Martin's autobiography, he was talking about looking at comedy through that kind of lens. So that I appreciate. The care that they take with presenting food.
Aw. I will say. And
taking a moment to, even things like taking a little moment before you eat the food. All these, like, they definitely... I see a lot more attention to detail over there, I think, than we do here. Here we're often focused on like, we want it cheap, we want it fast,
Yep.
We want it in size.
Yep.
Now, of course, people in Japan also want those things too, but you can just see in how they display their food. It's like very much about this, about getting these
beautiful.
details and wanting it to be like a whole experience.
I do have a question to ask you about Japan, though, because
Yeah.
I was I liked the way they presented the food, but I was pretty disappointed by the quality of the food over there.
Oh my goodness!
Like-
Where did you eat?
Well, I ate at supposedly like a super nice sushi restaurant, but I think the reason I was disappointed was because I'm used to American sushi.
Well, see, for me, what sushi is like the fish, the rice, like a little bit of rice seasoning. Like I don't want all the sauces on it. I don't want them. I don't want them deep fried.
Sweet
For me,
mayo.
like that is like I reject that sushi. I mean, I eat it and I can enjoy it, but like I guess maybe this is kind of like a Japanese thing. Like I appreciate the simplicity of that, where it's like the star is the fish. Mm-hmm. Like if you want to taste the fish, then let us present it in a way where everything about this little rice and
it is all building up to
and
the
the
fish.
seasoning. It's all about heightening the simple
experience
flavor
of
of
the
the fish,
fish.
right? And because I'm not knocking you for enjoying the food you enjoy, but I think
No,
you
but
might
I thought
agree.
it was interesting. I went to Japan and I was like, I'm so looking forward to the Japanese food. And then I got to
Right.
the restaurant and I was like,
Oh
and
yeah, yeah. For me, it's like that's like I crave that. When I go to a sushi restaurant here in the States, I'm always looking for like, where can I go to the place that has just the plain stuff? Because I think we could at least agree that when you do put all those other seasonings on it, that it does make it harder to taste the fish, right?
yeah, we can agree on that point.
So,
By the way, you guys
that's how I do
are
it.
making me real fucking hungry.
I haven't had dinner yet, so.
Yeah, me neither.
And but let's see.
Okay, so wait, real quick.
Yeah.
So if I'm gonna get Chinese food somewhere in LA, where should I go?
And to be honest,
Nowhere.
yeah, I've never tasted Chinese food outside of China that tastes like Chinese food.
Yeah, I feel the same way about Italian food.
Oh, that's not true.
No, the Italian food in Italy is head and
No,
shoulders.
if you go to my favorite Italian restaurant is Angelini Osteria in LA, and I've been to Italy and had Italian food there, and my favorite is still Angelini Osteria in
Okay.
LA.
Where's that?
I'll
Where's
take that?
that?
As a high recommendation.
That's in I think it's in Hollywood.
Okay.
It's so good. It's insanely good. But it's like a white tablecloth situation.
Yeah. No, I mean,
So-
the good Italian places tend to be like, you can't go to Little Tony's and you're getting basically American Italian food there.
But
New Jersey.
I'd be curious if you go there or if we go there together, I'd be super curious what you think of it.
So I tend to, because when I did a study abroad program, you just eat Italian food every day. Yeah, you sometimes have pasta, but it's like, pasta is not the focus of the meal. Mm-hmm. And I think that in a lot of Italian cuisine in America, it's like, it's the pasta, But,
It's the bread.
yeah.
I enjoyed sleeping on the floor too, and now I realize I just love having a really hard
Oh,
surface to sleep
wow.
on.
That's insane.
Yeah. It's good for my back, the hard surfaces.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Why are hard surfaces good for your back?
I think you build the muscle tone. Like, it's like your body still has to give a little bit of resistance. So your back muscles aren't becoming totally relaxed. Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I just if it's too soft, what that for me is like, I'm not getting support.
Oh.
Is how it feels. But really, it's a matter of. I think there is some general scientific research that hard surfaces tend to be better for your alignment and stuff.
In China, we used to tell women to sit on hard chairs because it would make your butt smaller.
Why would you want that? He said, being
Well,
an
that's the Chinese-
appreciator of the
Chinese-
Carthaginian.
That will be one thing I will say is very unhealthy in China is the beauty aesthetic.
Yeah.
And it's slowly becoming
like
a
face
little bit...
whitening creams and
Sorry,
stuff?
what?
Like face whitening chemicals and
Face
stuff.
whitening and just anorexic body
Uh-huh.
structure. And the situation's slightly better in the States now.
Well, at least there's awareness and there's language around it,
Yeah.
and, it's like, they're even beating up a lot of the fashion industry for its kind of reliance on,
I mean, even when I was anorexic, I still couldn't fit in the Italian brands. Like, those are insane.
But yeah, beauty standards are definitely a method of control.
Yes.
You know, I mean, we've got high heels, of course, but then, look at foot binding historically,
Yeah.
right? It's like, okay, there's a lot of
But I feel like it's
body
so
conformity to go around.
I feel like it's so interesting. I feel like some of I do CrossFit.
Uh-huh.
And I feel like some of the men I meet there who you can see, like, they really go hard and work at
Yeah.
developing the perfect male body. Like, they seem a little bit emotionally stunted
Oh, for sure.
and unable to communicate. Wow.
But I also
We're
think
in the
that
home
when
stretch.
Let's do it.
besides being the emotionally stunted, I feel like, probably when you're in that mode, you're calorie counting.
Yes.
So you're not.
visually self-critical.
Oh, yeah,
all the
so you
time.
can't be in the moment.
Well, yeah. So there's that, but also I think, your brain sucks up 40% of the calories
Yeah.
of what you eat, and if you're restricting,
Looks like we got some action up here.
What's happening?
yeah, they think they're telling us to leave the park.
Well, that's exactly what we're doing.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think you get that the calorie restriction makes people dumb.
That's
I also
true, 'cause when
I also think that being focused on your body like that
yeah.
is a form of OCD. Is a form of like you don't have like you're saying you can't be present because you're always thinking about your body.
Yeah, that was me during my eating disorder.
Oh yeah. It becomes a hobby that just overtakes your life.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Especially
not
the
like hiking.
The calorie counting is the worst.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Yeah.
I've managed to do okay with calorie counting, but only because I don't really take it too seriously. It's more just a way for me to log what I'm eating, so I'm conscious of
Yeah.
what I'm eating.
But also you're dealing with back pain
Yeah.
if you go above a certain
Yeah, the more
Threshold.
weight I carry, the more stress it is on my back.
Oh,
you know?
got you.
Yeah.
So it definitely helps. But that's just me.
Well, I think people have different. Everybody has different
yeah.
ways of dealing with. Oh, masks on.
Of course. We got a party van here. Oh,
Yeah,
I
it's
gotta
a-
mention. Oh, is it a police or is it a...
No, it's just security. They're just locking up the park.
I like to... By the way... Yep.
What'd she say?
I don't know, but we're leaving.
Yeah.
I say, let's just get out of here.
A little D-mic on the other side of the road.
Yeah. Oh, and I love the scene of the living room in the back of the pickup
Oh,
truck,
thank you.
by the way.
Oh yeah, that was amazing. I was looking at that going like, oh, I don't know. You know where I've seen it once?
Uh-huh.
Fucking the original Mad Max movie.
Oh.
You should take a look at that because I think you're subtly, slyly making a reference to that.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, obviously the visual had to come from somewhere, but it was just like off the top of our head at that point.
No, but I think it's an organic thing, meaning like this is a space where you can put these things.
Yeah.
Okay, we get it.
What you?
I can't even understand a damn thing they're saying.
No,
I can't understand what she's
it's
saying.
ridiculous.
Where are you guys parked?
Right there.
Oh, okay.
So we'll just get across the street and
That's my car.
yeah.
Step into the traffic. Do not look. Get out of here. So, hey, I want to ask, how do you feel about this walk? How do you feel about the whole thing?
Oh, so nice, guys. Thank you so much.
Right?
I admit, like, I do not like hiking normally, but this was super nice.
Yeah, and it's manageable, even for a person who's not into
Yeah,
hiking, you
yeah.
know.
No, it's totally nice.
We would definitely want to encourage you to do other hikes.
Maybe I'll do some more hikes with you guys.
Yeah.
But the rainforest was so beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And the outlook from the rock, I really liked that. That's awesome. Thank you
Yeah.
guys so much for having me.
No, this was amazing. This is all we want to do. Is just like, as long as people have a good time on their hike.
No, you guys, this is really cool. I think my favorite part was looking at the night sky. That was like gorgeous.
That was under the tree there?
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was
You're welcome.
awesome.
Hey, you know, if it felt good to be on it and it felt calming and good to do it, then, you know, I think consider doing a walk.
Once in a
week,
while.
you know?
Maybe
You'll
we'll...
reap, if it's really going to improve the rest of your week,
Yeah.
why not improve every week, right?
All right, yeah.
Something to consider.
I will consider it.
We're proselytizing. We're fucking bringing the
Yes.
word of Jesus walking, not on water.
Yes.
So there's a little, oh, go ahead.
I'll look forward to your guys finding the foon.
Yes, our own food.
You have
Our
to.
two-man
You're on a
foon.
crusade now.
I mean, here's I'll try this. Like, why don't you do a reverse food where we touch our feet together, like something like this?
It's really.
It
yeah,
makes
I
like an
that.
M for the
Yeah,
mind
nice.
for
walk.
mind walk.
Speaking
I
of
love
mind
that.
walk, we end with our guests where, because Mind Walk is a podcast, a moment of unity, and we all together go, Mind Walk. Like
Yeah.
that. You down?
Let's
All
do
right.
it. Yeah.
Mind walk.
Wait. Let's do it again. Let's do it again.
Okay.
Because I can
Okay.
do. I can do the harmony.
Okay.
Okay.
Mind walk. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Thank
you
so much, guys.
Yay.
Awesome.
Thanks for joining us. This has been a pretty amazing mind walk. If you want to go on your own mind walk, that would be awesome.
Subscribe to the Mind Walk podcast on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube. Follow us on social media at MindWalkPod and support us on Patreon.
Yeah, come and be on our Mind Walk Pod Patreon page, and you get all of it for $10 a month.
Or just $5 a month if you want 3 episodes. Or
$1.99 and you get
nothing.
Mind